Welcome to our duo review of Solo, the first Solo film of Han Solo. Solo, not the drink Solo, but Solo.
No, let's just review the movie.
Solo.
So Han and Chewie, which one are you out of those two?
Han.
Like out of...
Sorry, you're Chewie.
So Solo, A Star Wars Story is the fourth Star Wars film produced by Disney. This film was originally set to be directed by Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, who did the Lego Movie as well as the Jump Street reboot films, but due to their kind of approach to the film, they were pulled off it early and directing duties were handed to Ron Howard. Ron Howard is a director known for Apollo 13 and A Beautiful Mind. Most recently, he did the films In the Heart of the Sea and Inferno.
Now, before we go any further, let's set the record straight. I'm going to go out and say it. I was wrong. And I'm happy to admit that, because catch me 2.5 years ago or so when this film was first announced, I was like,
Yep.
Really? I don't care. I have no need for a Solo film in my life. I think it's completely unreasonable that you're making one. I just do not want this film. Here I am, in 2018, having just seen Solo, A Star Wars Story, and I take back everything I said, because the thing is, I feel as though we did need this film in the Star Wars canon, and it was fucking fantastic. All I'll say to people out there who are feeling a little bit hesitant about Solo is just take a breath. Why? Because this film feels more like the original trilogy than any other Star Wars film to date. And I will just see me signing a bloody paper with my life away and agreeing to that statement, because I'm telling you, it does.
I fully agree with that. While it's not my favorite of the Star Wars films, and it's not even my favorite of the Disney films, I do feel like this is the one that manages to balance all the things that the other three films have offered in the best way. Yes, I do believe this film has a mildly shaky start, but once it finds its feet, this is confident, this is assured. You cannot see the cracks and seams like you could in Rogue One, which was a movie torn in half by two different directors. It's energetic, it's exciting, and it wants you to just escape to a galaxy far, far away for 2 hours as you go on an adventure. It captures what Star Wars was initially about. It was an adventure before all of this for 40 years has expanded out to what Star Wars is now. I actually feel like this one focused back in and used familiar things that we recognized, but expanded on them and actually gave a story that it doesn't feel like it doesn't belong in this universe. It actually feels like Disney found something, like original writer Lawrence Kasdan, who did Empire Strikes Back, like he found something and it was actually worth telling.
Now, we won't dive too much into the plot, because really that doesn't really matter in the scheme of things.
They didn't show anything either, like they didn't really show anything.
Exactly, it's all kind of been hidden, and we're going to keep it hidden from you guys. All you really need to know is that it's a heist film, and it's basically kind of, I suppose, the origin story of Han Solo. Yeah.
Han Solo here is played by Alden Ehrenreich, and the rest of the cast includes Emilia Clarke, Woody Harrelson, Thandie Newton, there's Jon Favreau in there, there's missing people, obviously Donald Glover as Lando, there's a ton of other people in here as well, like Phoebe Waller-Bridge, I'm out of names off the top of my head, but this actually has a really good cast, and all the characters here are really, really strong, and I think we should probably start by talking about Alden Ehrenreich as Han.
Yeah, he fucking nailed it. Straight up. I mean, look, there was a lot of worries and concerns about his performance.
From us especially. We were like, why would you get someone to play Han at 30 and 60, which was Harrison Ford, and then have someone else play him at 25? Doesn't make any sense. Alden Ehrenreich nailed it.
He absolutely nailed it, through and through, and there was a lot of concern from the outside, kind of looking into the production, people like, oh, he got an acting coach and this and that, but you know what? He absolutely did his homework here. He did his research. He really looked into Han Solo as a character and Han Solo performed by Harrison Ford, and we get a perfect mix here. Plus, Alden's new take on him, and it works. You don't ever see Alden Ehrenreich, you just see Han Solo.
And while it may take some form of adjustment, I know it did for me, it took me about 10 minutes before I was like, you know what? Nah, I buy him at this point. But I think there was that whole thing with like the acting coach, and it was never a case of because he's a bad actor, everyone seemed to read it that way. It was no, they brought in a coach to make him more like Harrison Ford, and there's only a certain extent that can reach, and beyond that, as we've said, he creates a character that is definitely Han Solo. He really, by the end of it, I was like, I fully buy him. But he makes it his own. He evolves it and he makes it kind of, it's got a kind of really cool identity. He kind of just makes it work.
Same thing applies for Donald Glover here with Lando Calrissian. Because, you know, he is playing a character that I suppose is really just this small little supporting character in the Star Wars universe. But he expands upon him here and he has so much fun with him, which is the same with the entire cast here. They have so much fun with their characters, but Donald Glover in particular has just nailed Lando to a T, through and through, with his look, his style, the way he talks, his voice. It's just magic.
Woody Harrelson's character is fantastic. He was incredibly enjoyable to watch and very, very interesting in terms of, I don't think we've ever seen anyone quite like him in Star Wars. I do want to say that Emilia Clarke, this is my favorite work she's ever done. This was the most confident she'd ever felt, the most assured she'd ever felt in a role, and her character, again, felt unique and was incredibly enjoyable to watch. I also want to give a shout out to Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who plays the droid in this movie, L3, has some fantastic moments in this that do, again, feel unique. In that group, we did forget to mention Paul Bettany. He doesn't have a lot in this movie, but he does a fantastic job. He actually really, really carries across a great villainous role. I won't call him a villain, but it's a villainous role, and he does an excellent job here. And that allows me to roll into, once again, the thing that Disney is continually nailing with these films, and it is the technical mastery, the sets, the production design, the costuming, the visual effects. It is unparalleled by any other blockbuster out there. They are honestly pretty much flawless. You cannot see the cracks, you cannot see the seams. The work by Industrial Light and Magic.
Well, I mean, like, I'm not gonna lie, I think I did see a few seams in the costumes.
Why would you do this to me? Why would you... Industrial Light and Magic is pretty much unrivaled when it comes to those things. And I do also want to say that the photography here done by Bradford Young, who did Arrival, it is just outstanding. This is a fantastically good looking movie, even though it has really muted colors. You won't see the broad, bright color palettes both seen in The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. Instead, it's a lot more muted, a lot more kind of tonally focused on particular dark colors, but it really, really works. Great smoke textures, great radiant light. There's just, what are you doing?
It's fucking gritty is what it is.
It's
and
gritty.
it could be...
It's gritty without being artificial, which is what Rogue One was.
It could be my favorite looking Star Wars film. I mean, that's completely subjective. I just absolutely loved every single image I was getting. I mean, well done, Bradford Young. Well done. I know you're not watching this, but well done, son.
And a lot of that comes down to Ron Howard, who is a creatively versatile director. He does what he needs to tell the story. He'll use handheld shots that are close up. He'll use wide vistas. He'll actually use some really creative framing at times, and it always makes the film feel fun, feel energetic, and feeling like it's really showing off new elements of this universe that we haven't seen. He does a fantastic job with the interplay between the characters. He does a great job of designing the set pieces. It's all just really fantastic work. And a point that I do want to make is that I think a lot of people have been shaky about Disney's approach to comedy in these new films. The Star Wars movies have never been the type of movies where comedy is supposed to be That was never really the approach to comedy in the original trilogy, and certainly not the prequels.
Oh, I mean, hold on. The prequels are
unintentionally funny.
They're a mastermind in comedy.
Okay, we do actually kind of like the prequels in certain ways, so don't get us wrong here. But the original Star Wars approach to comedy was more mild amusement, more the type of thing that puts a smile on your face. This movie doesn't have a lot of laugh out loud moments, but it's not trying to, and I think we need to reassess the way we look at comedy. Comedy isn't always supposed to be a laugh out loud joke, and I think some people hear a line that probably sounds funny and they're like, I didn't laugh out loud, that's not good comedy. No, sometimes it is just supposed to make you mildly amused, and this movie actually really nailed that.
Now, the music here is composed by John Powell, who is known for doing How to Train Your Dragon. He does an absolute excellent job.
That explains a lot.
Because he actually works alongside John Williams here, because John Williams created the Han Solo theme, which you will see in the film, and it is absolutely fantastic. And the soundtrack across the board here feels so Star Warsy. They revisit some old themes and add some new ones, which just works so well together.
And while we have both kind of heaped a lot of praise on this movie, I don't think that makes it a perfect movie. It's not the best movie ever made. It does enough to service its own existence, and it is an enjoyable watch. Yes, I think when people are really analysing and breaking this movie down, they're going to find a lot of problems that we've probably missed because we got caught up in the adventure. And so from that point of view, this movie really succeeds. And what I do want to talk about expectations with this movie is not lower your expectations. It shouldn't be the case. Just know what the movie is that you're seeing. This is a space adventure about a character we're familiar with that has been somewhat reimagined. That is what to expect. I'm not telling you to expect a great movie or a bad one. That's not how expectations should work. If you go into a movie knowing what that movie sees its own identity as, that is how you can kind of evaluate it. And that's what it's done. It's gone out and said, this is what it's going to be. And it's done it. and it's impressed both of us.
And the last thing I'd like to say is I think people just need to chill out with Star Wars and try their best to just sit back, enjoy it, and have a little fun. Because that's what I did. And the thing is, it's okay to sit back and have fun with a Star Wars film. You don't have to walk out and be like, oh, I didn't agree with this, or I completely agree with this, and have like form these big, large opinions where only your opinion matters and you have to segregate yourselves online, and then there's people over here being like, no, it's like this. People over here being like, no, it's like this.
Just have fun!
Just have fun,
Just
chill
have
out.
fun.
I mean, think about this for a fact, right? Ron Howard grew up with the Star Wars films. He loves it. He's a filmmaker. So he is someone who loves Star Wars and gets to make films. And here he is making a Star Wars film.
And you can see the love and you can see the passion, you can see the excitement, it's all there.
He's not that much different from people like you out there who love Star Wars. So, I mean, guys. All I'm saying is this is a Star Wars film that I think's for everyone and you can just have a hell of a lot of fun with it. So try sit back, enjoy it, and just see how you feel.
Because that's what we did and it worked for us. So if we're going to score this movie...
I'm going to settle on an 8.5 for this one.
And I'm going to give it an 8. And that's our review of Solo. So that was our review of Solo, a Star Wars story. Have you seen it yet?
Did you like it?
Did you hate it?
Did you like this video?
Of course you did.
Crave more banter.
If so, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel down there somewhere.
And don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all at Breaking Banter.
And you can also support us on Patreon. I have a new video essay about The Last Jedi on its way that is coming very, very soon. Get excited about that. Bye.